Thank you.
This is how we do it. Hello, people, wherever you are watching us live on Facebook from across the world. This is Sunshine Silas, Nigeria's #1 bounce back coach. It is a beautiful Friday evening from across the Atlantic, and I'm excited to bring to you the Sunshine Silas Show. This is your premium online talk show where we bring you the best of content. We'll bring you inspiration, motivation, and definitely entertainment, hoping to inspire you to discover and to reconnect with the greatness inside of you. Tonight on the Sunshine Silas Show, I have with me an amazing guest who is doing something phenomenal, something incredible, not just in our community, but helping to touch lives all over the world. I'm talking of none other but the very beautiful, intelligent, delectable Philandis Stovall. Hello, Philandis. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing good. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
So good evening, good afternoon to you over there in Houston, Texas. How is Houston, Texas this afternoon?
Houston is beautiful and a little on the colder side. A lot on the colder side.
Wow, it's
wonderful here though.
It's a beautiful weather here in Nigeria, and we are excited to have you this evening on the Sunshine Silas Show. On this episode, we are discussing Through the Storm because you have an incredible story you want to share with us about your journey through the storms of life and how you were able to come out of it, not bitter, but better. So let's start by meeting Philandis Stovall. You are a published author, you are a speaker, you are a songwriter, you are an actress, and also a professional model. A lot of hats that you've worn, but please let us get to meet you beyond the accolades and all of the titles that you have. How would you define or how would you introduce Philandis Stovall to our audience tonight?
I'm a spiritual being living a physical, earthly experience. That's how I would describe myself. Living my life day by day, moment by moment. Very loving, caring, determined, all of the above. But like I said, being a spiritual being, you know, a spiritual being, and doing physical things while I'm here. So that's how I present myself.
Wow. Spiritual being, having an earthly or physical experience and doing the best that you can. Please, could you just, when next you're speaking, could you speak into the microphone so our audience can hear you better? Okay, that'll be fine. Now let's move forward a bit. I've looked at your bio. You have worn quite a number of hats in your lifetime. Hopefully, maybe you have some more things that you're going to try your hands on. You are a songwriter. You are an author. You are also a speaker and an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
For most people, this is like a whole lot of things for one person to handle. So the question is, how does each of these roles align with your purpose in life? How are you able to bring them all into one single focus?
I look at everything I do and as far as it being in alignment with each other, everything that skills, everything that you experience, it's all in alignment to who you are and your purpose and it's going to lead you to your purpose and your calling to begin with. But it's just different ways of expression, I would say. With my music, I help people feel to tap into emotions from a different perspective. When I'm speaking, I look at it as I want people to do the same, tap into a place where that where they can acknowledge a pain or a joy, or bring out the positive that they may be afraid of or haven't even experienced, because everybody have different backgrounds. So you can't say everybody, experience positive from their past, but going into their future, they can start experiencing it. As far as my acting, it's another way of expression. You get to act and be a character just the same, where you probably have experienced had an experience where you can tap back into certain emotions, or you can even tap into a trait or characteristic that you have never tried, or you were never, it's completely opposite of who you are in your being. So that's how I look at it. It's all connected, and it's bringing out different forms of expression.
Wow, that's beautiful. Let me take it a bit deeper now.
Thank you.
You are an author, and one of your books, it's quite incredible. It's received a lot of reviews, and it's doing phenomenally well. That book happens to be Even Through the Storms, Amongst Faith Amidst Adversity. Now, what inspired you to write that book, and what is the underlying message that you had for your audience when you were penning down the words in those books?
At the time, there were many things that inspired me to even write my book. First of all, I was in the hospital with my son when I got the inspiration to write the book. Actually, it started a little bit before, but the initial confirmation came when he was getting his bone marrow transplant um, back in 2016, 2017. And it was just a feeling that came over me. First, I want to say I knew we had a purpose when our journey first started. And at the beginning of the journey, I was like, I want to share our journey. It's like I knew that I would have, that it was a purpose in our journey, and I wanted to share it. But like I tell people all the time, how can you share a journey and you haven't even begun to travel down the road in a journey? You haven't had all of the experiences that you would go through, or the lessons that you'll have to learn, or you won't be able to tell the highs, the lows, the just your personal experience, because everybody experienced something different, and especially through the cancer journey. So um, um, later on, like I said, in 2017, 2016, 17, I got the okay to start, because we had already been almost 6 years in. So I got the okay from God to write the book. And it was initially like friends and family around me who kind of triggered different things in me that I was seeing, I was hearing, and God made it all come together, and I started writing in October of 16, 17.
Hmm. Quite, a,
Yeah.
quite an interesting story. And talking about the storm, looking you up, one of the words that is synonymous with Philandis Stovall is the word storm. So from your book, Even Through the Storm. So for our audience, when you say storms, what was the storm that you actually experienced that you're talking about in your book and that is helping you to inspire other people to overcome the respective storms on their
When
journey to
I
success?
um first off, like we stated, like everybody's storm is different in life, and my storm that I was presenting, and even through the storm, a mom's faith amid adversity, was my son being my firstborn. He was a completely healthy baby boy, and he got diagnosed with cancer at the age of 4, which was in 2012. So being a young mother, a young single mother, with 2 kids, to be hit with that shock, and it just came out of nowhere, that started my storm. So him being, a completely healthy baby born, and being diagnosed at the age of 4. That's, having to, that was a completely road, untraveled. You don't know what to expect, with a diagnosis such as cancer. You've, but I can say along that journey, for the most part, we've heard and we were around survivors of even the cancer that he had, the leukemia. We were around survivors. We were, standing on faith more than anything, throughout that journey. And at times, that's all I had was my faith, and I still stand on that to this day. So, just the obstacles that come along with cancer. It's not easy, because most of the time, especially being a single parent, you you have to either decrease your hours, your job working hours, or you won't be able to work at all. And my son's cancer was very intense. Not starting off, as he it got intense as he kept relapsing. I'll say that. But um, like, as going through the journey, he, you know, he hit stages where, he was doing great, and at each time, you keep relapsing, it gets, the chances in survival, which is said earthly, the chances of life decreases. But I mean, I wasn't focusing on it. Like I said, my faith still stands. So, but yeah, God, God's will.
Okay, that can be a very devastating and crushing experience for any parent at all, going through that. How did that experience impact your life? I mean, what changed from the moment you discovered that your 6-year-old son had cancer? What was the impact like for you?
Um, the moment the moment I discovered that he was diagnosed with cancer,
Yeah.
um, when the doctor initially told me, um, I was just quiet. She was talking and telling me, you know, um, your 4-year-old is, now has, leukemia, cancer. And I just sat there while she was giving me the initial diagnosis. I didn't say anything. And it really wasn't until she, stated it, after she told me the diagnosis, and she said the words, you you are strong. That's when I broke down. Um, so, my my like I said, from the beginning, um, um, I just wanted my son to be here, to physically tell his story. Um, it's just a feeling that that you the initial diagnosis. It's a feeling you have to trust God in His word and His promises, no matter what the doctors may say, no matter what the report is, and no matter what I was seeing and hearing, because we did have some frightening moments even in the first stages. It's like I couldn't cry, really, and I still haven't cried or grieved the way I one usually or would have or do, because I'm so busy keeping myself active. And like I said, I'm still positive and going off my faith that I have, even though he's happy in heaven. I'm still standing on God's word.
You showed incredible strength throughout this period. I mean, coming through from such an experience and still being able to do the things that you're doing. Can you share with our audience what inspired you to keep going in the midst of such devastating situation? Where did you summon such strength and courage from?
Knowing that I've had other experiences in life that prepared me for different things, just also, like I said, my faith, and knowing that God has a purpose and He can do no wrong, no matter how harsh or no matter the pain or our own personal feelings. Like none of this is about us individually. It's all for Him and about Him. Um, Also, my son and my daughter was my strength, because um, my son, he showed no sign. Like if you saw him on a regular day, you were like, he got cancer. Like he doesn't act like it. Like he was just always happy and joyous and want to make sure you were okay. And he was the one with the diagnosis and going through cancer treatment. So it's like everything was reversed. And being his mom, being my daughter's mom, like they make life so much easier and worth it. Like they are my world. So I do everything for them. Yeah.
Wow, I must commend your courage and your resilience. Moving forward from the story about the storm, you have co-authored rather another book with one of your sons, and I think that book is an incredible read, The Mystery of the Missing Ring. But for me, what the intriguing part of it was you co-authored it with your son who was about 10 years old. I mean, that's something that unique.
Yeah.
What inspired you to co-author that book with me? Did it bring any perspective to the storyline?
As far as the mystery of the missing ring, my son, he wrote that book literally in a hospital bed before he passed away. Um, and that was one of the things. He loved school, he loved reading, he loved writing, he loved math, science. He loved being he loved recess and lunch. um, he like I said, he loved school, and he didn't want to, even though he was in a hospital setting, he was still going to school. Even in his last days, he was going to school. And he knew he knew he was he's a special child, and he had a special calling on his life. And like I said, he wanted to share his own testimony. And that was a part of something that he left that he wanted, to have, to be here to live on, if he departed. So
He literally wrote this book on his deathbed,
I'm,
hospital bed. Wow, that's deep. That's and talking about your books.
yeah,
In
yeah,
your
that was,
book, Even Through the Storm, I want to bring your attention to um, uh, a phrase that you wrote in that book that for me has a lot of significance, which I would want you to shed some light on it. In your book, Even Through the Storm, you said something in one of those chapters. You said, as I found myself on an unexpected and unwelcome path, I could feel a rebirth happening within me. When you say I could feel a rebirth happening within me, what exactly were you referring to?
meaning, meaning, in life, we have our own plans, and we set our life, our months, our years, to this plan, that we have put in place. And my son diagnosis, of course, that was nowhere a part of the plan. Like, I was completely blown away. Um, we, we wasn't expecting that at all, because, like I said, my son was born completely healthy, and then literally, 1 minute he's healthy, and then you take him to the emergency room because you thinking he maybe got flu symptoms or something like that, and it's like, no, we have to rush you, to another children's hospital, and then they tell you, oh, your son has cancer. um it's like all of that gets not thrown, I wouldn't say thrown out the window, but okay, God needs my attention here. My son definitely needs my attention here. And I have to, of course, maintain attention on my daughter as well, because she was affected, because she was a sibling. She was younger, and she didn't know quite how to put into words her feelings, but she was feeling and going through things too. So I'm having to be like, I'm having to be like this, um, what's the word? This just completely well-rounded, strong being for all of us. And um, I forgot my thought. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's definitely life changing. When I lost my thought. What I was saying.
I know
Um,
I know it can be it's quite emotional for
I
you.
lost my thought. It's a lot, because yeah, it's a lot. Even thinking about the past. Even though we've shifted to a new level, still on the cancer journey, because we'll always be a cancer family. But even looking back, because I've done like a numerous amount of interviews, just even on um looking back on the moments of the past, it's not easy, because it's like you're still trying to, you went through it, and you're going through it, and it's like it's it's kind of like you're in a blank, because you still kind of trying to place those feelings and having to deal with deal with it. Like I said, even now. So, but like I said, I had to be this, um being this, mom that's strong, not only for um myself, but I had to be that for my kids, and not let up. So
I I really understand how emotional it could be for you sharing this experience with us. And I want to really thank you for giving us the privilege to have this conversation with you. And I must comment, you have such an incredible strength and resilience to be able to do what you're doing. But if you don't mind, let's take this conversation a bit deeper. Someone said, and I believe that smooth seas never made a good seller. But looking back at the challenges that you've been through the eye of the storm, and everything that you have experienced, how has that shaped your outlook or perspective to life?
I'm sorry. Do you mind repeating that, please? I'm sorry.
Yes. Looking back at the challenges you've been through, the whole experience, how has that event or experience shaped your outlook or perspective to life?
Um, it has heightened my spirituality. I was already a very spiritual person, a strong with a strong faith, and I believe that's why God allowed me to go through what I went through. But at the same time, my spirituality and my insights, my perspectives on life, um, it's heightened, and I look at it in a completely um, different manner. Um, like I said, I know that it's a bigger picture to everything that I've gone through, everything that goes on around me, and um, yeah, it's just um, everything is all connected. That's what I can say. It's yeah.
Okay, let's leave the past behind now. Let's talk about the present and also the future. Moving on from the storms that you encountered and the peculiar challenges that you faced, what are some of the things that you have been able to accomplish now, regardless of the challenges that life brought your way? How have you been able to move on from all of those things that happened? And what are some of the things you have been able to achieve either in your career or in your personal life, irrespective of the odds that were stacked against
Um, well, I can say after my son's passing, I was able to really go ahead and get back into everything that I was doing before his diagnosis, even though I would continue to do things in between, in along the journey. But after his diagnosis, I was back to head on fully doing everything, and actually looking to take things that I actually did within a cancer journey, taking it to a high level where it can really be a part of my focus and a part of the purpose that and a part of my son's legacy that he left behind, and to continue to push his legacy, because um, he impacted a lot of people. So I wanted to make sure I keep not just my vision alive, but his vision alive too, because him and my daughter love helping people, love always caring and trying to be there for others. So I wanted to make sure, especially with my nonprofit, I say it's our nonprofit, make sure that we're doing what we can do on that end. So um, yeah, so that yeah, and every day, like I'm you know touching bases on different things as far as as because I do everything. Believe it or not, I do everything with the purpose, and everything I do has a meaning. So that's how I try to live daily.
Talking about the legacy you want to leave behind, not just for yourself, but for your son. You also mentioned the non-profit. Can you tell us some more about this non-profit organization?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You kind of broke
Yes, you
out.
were
It
you
said
were
the
talking you were talking about the legacy you want to leave, not just your building, rather, not just for yourself, but also for your son. And you mentioned the non-profit organization. So I know you've incorporated a non-profit. Can you tell us more about this non-profit organization and the legacy you're trying to build?
um, the legacy that I just want to pretty much. I'm sorry, it's knocking or something on here. One moment. My I'm sorry. It's something going on over here. Hold 1 second. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. All right. As far as the
Kids will always be kids.
yes. I was like, oh my God. Okay. Um, as far as the legacy, um, I want to leave a legacy of caring, of being authentic, of being loving and resilient and determined and spiritual. And I believe my son left that as well as um, knowing that you can face the toughest of times and make it out on top. You can look at things either to be against you, or you can look at things as being for you, meaning to take something head on, use it to your advantage, because in the end, it's all about favor and alignment and knowing that God uses everything for your betterment, for your good. So that's the legacy I want to leave behind. Just a hard working woman, um, doing what I have to do and keeping the faith, keeping my faith head on and strong. That's the legacy I want to. For right now, that's the legacy I want to leave.
Wow, we wish you the very best in that. And um, do you want to share some words of advice, inspiration to members of the audience who are probably going through their own phases of storms right now?
Yes. My advice, like I said, I want to say that I want people to remember what seems to be separate is all connected. And yes, you too can be abundantly blessed through the power of your heart and mind to influence your existence, even through the storm, and to have righteous flows.
What a beautiful way to crown it all. Whatever looks disconnected is always connected in one way or the other. Wow, beautiful inspiration there from Philandis Stovall. It's been
Yeah.
a wonderful experience having you on the Sunshine Silence Show. And just before I let you go, I want to ask you a signature question. If you had a chance to live your life all over again, what would you do differently?
What would I? Only thing I would do different is, you know what? Um, I would say sometimes I say I would. Well, first thing, I didn't want to have my kids out of wedlock. I always want to have my kids in wedlock because that's how I was, you know, entered into the word within wedlock. But I know, like I said, God, everything happens for a reason, and my kids wouldn't be my kids probably if they was in wedlock, because I'm getting very much later on in life. But that so sometimes I would say that's the only thing that I would change, because overall I have enjoyed my life, even the cancer treatment and the other things that I've been through, because it made me who I am. But it's kind of, would I change that or would I not? So I would say I wouldn't do anything over at this time, because yeah, I wouldn't do anything over. No, I wouldn't do anything
It,
over.
it's it's inter-
I'm
it's
good.
it's interesting to know that you wouldn't take anything from what life has dealt you, and of course, you believe that there is always a purpose
Right,
and a reason for everything that life brings your way. I want to thank you so much
right.
for the opportunity to have this very interesting and insightful conversation with you, sharing with us your journey through the storms and how you have
Thank
been
you
able
for
to.
having me.
It's been such a pleasure. We want to congratulate you on the success of your publication, your books out there, making a lot of impact and really inspiring and encouraging a lot of people who are going through the storm. And from the Sunshine
Thank
Silence
you.
Show, we wish you the very best in your future endeavors, and we look forward to always sharing your success stories again.
Thank you so
So,
much.
ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are connected, this is how we draw the curtains tonight on the Sunshine Silence Show. We've had an amazing guest with us, Philandis Stovall, an author, a songwriter. She's an actress. She's also a model, doing a whole lot of things, impacting the world and her community. And we've been talking about even through the storms. And she has shared her journey with us that regardless of what you go through, don't give up, don't quit. No matter how disconnected things look, they are always connected in one way. And God has a purpose and a reason for everything that you're going through. Until we come your way again next time on the Sunshine Silence Show, have a super fantastic and fabulous week ahead of you. Bye-bye.
Bye.